My name is Michael May, and I've been obsessed with mysteries my whole life, and that's why I'm hosting A Study of Strange, a new podcast where we study unsolved mysteries, true crime, and a sprinkling of unexplained phenomena. On every episode, I invite a guest to help me debunk misconceptions, discover new theories, and act out recreations. Find A Study of Strange wherever you listen to podcasts, or visit astudyofstrange.com.
Hello, everybody. This is Megan.
And this is Lana.
And welcome to Tea Time Crimes. I really love your intro.
Thank you.
Every time. Bridge Kitty is joining us again today when I thought you were going to be finding a home for Bridge Kitty.
Yeah, but we gotta pick a good one.
Have you had any options?
We've had a few, but they're not interested in a cat right now.
So you haven't had any? Because him being a
mean?
cat is a pretty big part of this working out.
No, I know, but like they're like really good pet people. But they're like, we can't either. I'm not ready for a cat, or I'm only allowed two animals in my building, etc. Oh my god.
Got it. And now you said you're going to be late to the mic today because you still have the squirrel?
Yeah, it has to be weaned off the milk entirely, and it's eating like a lot of solid foods now, like mostly, and it's barely really eating milk. So I think we're almost there. It's like, I guess squirrels wean themselves off milk, because in my mind, a babyish animal will just keep drinking milk as long as it's offered.
What food is it eating?
All kinds of nuts, every nut you can think of, and then there's like this nutrition cube, which I think has like a bunch of vitamins and stuff like that in it. And then it also has to have, this is a little graphic, it has to have something to chew on, like an antler or a tree, like a branch, or its teeth will grow through its mouth into its brain.
Wait a second. They'll grow up? The teeth will grow up into his brain?
Up and down, because they have the huge front teeth.
Wait, it'll go...
And so they have to have something to gnaw on.
It'll grow in both directions?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's so we got like a, like you could get for a terrarium for like a gecko or something, the tree things. And so it just gnaws on that to keep it down.
How fast would something like that happen?
I don't know, but like just the thought of it freaks me out. I'm like, I hope you're done, buddy, because that's terrifying.
Oh my gosh. Imagine the first person to discover that, because they'd have to have a squirrel in captivity, which is weird in itself. Right. And then they'd have to have it totally locked up so that...
Yeah. It doesn't have anything to chew on.
Because its natural instinct would obviously be to chew to save its brain from its teeth.
Yeah.
Do you think the teeth like curl down under the chin?
That's what I'm thinking.
And then you can't even open your mouth?
Ugh. That's a horrible way to die. Talk about torture.
This is worse than true crime right here. This is disgusting.
Yeah, but
I didn't know that.
It really it's weaning off the milk. I could tell it's not really interested in it anymore. So that's when we can release it or give it back to the squirrel people.
Well, it's been way longer than 2 weeks. But
I know.
Now you know for the next squirrel.
No, 2 weeks was apparently every 4 hours bottle feeding. That was the super fun part.
Right.
Now it's just twice a day it gets fed. It's fine.
Interesting. Okay, well, I've got a tea today. I'm not gonna step in your lane.
Wow.
I'm drinking some Lady Grey tea, but I got nothing. I just drink it and it goes down.
How's the body?
Let me taste it.
Oh, we're getting a little Megan tea time.
I don't know. I got nothing. It is it is liquid on my tongue that I like the taste of, and then it's gone. That's it. That's all I got for you. Why don't you bring us home with your professionalism and discerning palate, please?
Oh, You got it. Because it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Guess what, folks? What's here? It's time to celebrate the holidays. So, from
the
our
Grinch
lovely...
has lifted her ban.
Now I'm full on elf. Sunshine Cottage, the one
Again!
who provided us our Halloween teas, is back for the holidays. She does great theme teas. So this is a winter spice tea. That is the perfect one to kick off the season. Orange, cranberry, cinnamon, and cloves all add flavor to this finger-warming, toe-thawing, spiced winter blend.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really love the descriptions. Joan is nailing these.
Yeah, she really is. She's
What? Oh no, what happened? Something.
No. There's a few nice ingredients that aren't included in the description, like safflower and jasmine petals.
Yeah, all somebody has to do is say jasmine and you're on board.
Yes, this is true. All right, ready?
Bridge Kitty is really loud today. Cool it,
no.
Bridge Kitty.
They're not playing right now.
It's Christmas
It's a
time.
no. Okay, so immediately it smells like cranberries. Perfect.
Okay. You're a little picky about your fruits.
I am, but cranberries, not fruity. Getting a hint of the cinnamon clove. Okay, I'm going in. Ooh. Oh my God. This is perfect for winter. Bridge Kitty agrees.
Yeah. He gives it 2 meows up.
You can really taste the cranberry, which I'm shocked about. Like, how did she get that infused into the tea? I must have a conversation with her. Oh my God.
What?
We should talk to her.
Did she respond? Did she ever listen to your first reviews?
I don't know. I tagged her on Facebook. She doesn't have an Instagram. I'm not sure if she ever liked us back. So the strong notes really are the cranberry and then that hint of cinnamon. In the background, you can taste the orange. It's like the sun. It's setting into the horizon. It's in the distance, but it's lovely. Okay.
See, I can't compete with this.
It does the perfect mouthfeel. It's not sticky. It doesn't disappear too fast. I can feel the warmth and the body lingering. It's a great black tea. And as she said, I think it's going to be a finger-warming thumbs up.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Sunshine Cottage. They make great teas. You can find them on Etsy.
Awesome. So I'm sorry, you just gave it a single thumbs up?
Yeah. Finger warming.
Well, then you showed me your thumb, so it's confusing.
It's very related to a gloved thumbs up, which makes sense. It's a colder time of year for us in the Northern Hemisphere.
Gloved thumbs up is one of my least favorite ratings.
But why? It's instructional, which is even nicer. It's a double value.
It just seems like it diminishes the rating because if it's gloved, it seems like it's not as good of a thumbs up as just regular.
No, it's just an accessory.
Oh, okay.
You know, in Remember the Titans, one of my favorite lines is she's like, "Are you playing with dolls?" And she says, "I'm accessorizing." And so that's what I'm doing to my thumb.
Oh, okay.
It's a great movie.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Knocking it out of the park, Sunshine Cottage.
Actually, ask Brad if he likes Remember the Titans. I feel like that's a very Brad movie.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like he cries when he watches it out of emotion and like pride.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll ask him.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else going on, or should we jump into our story for today?
Let me just think. Nope. Let's jump.
Okay. Here we go.
I got my tea.
Today we're going to talk about Eva Coo, the Mallet murderer.
How do you spell Coo?
Oh, geez. Again, when you focus, most people would be really drawn into the mallet portion of that sentence.
I need to know.
C-O-O.
Oh, I was hoping for C-O-U-X-C-O-U-P.
Yeah, because how would that change anything that is about to happen?
Well, maybe she's not French.
She is.
Whoa, twist already in the first opening line. Okay.
Well, she was born in Ontario, Canada.
Okay, that kind of French.
I knew you were so snobby. I knew you were going to be like, oh, well, I meant actual France, not Canada.
Québécois.
Please stop. Okay. Anyway, let's get back to this.
I love Canadians. Canadians are my favorite.
Obviously. Hello, look who you're talking to. Eva Coo was born Eva Curry on June 17th, 1889. Curry is spelled... No, I'm just kidding. In Ontario, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
She was born to Albert and Margaret, and she was the third of 5 children that they had.
Okay.
When she was a young teenager, so probably around 13-ish, the family moved to Toronto, which is a happening place.
Yeah.
Here, Eva meets William Coo. You see where that's going?
Yeah, spoiler.
At the age of 17, they run away together. Now, William is a railway worker and is one of 11 children in total, but his mother died when he was a young adult, so he really grew up with one of 8, and then his father remarried and had some additional children. But William, I believe, if the internet is telling the truth, William was 15 years older than Eva, who was a teenager.
Gross.
They ran away together. Doesn't last long. It's not long before the couple separate.
Oh, they don't have shared interests like Pretty Princess and whatever he's into?
Yeah, I'm fully confident that the early 1900s, a 17-year-old girl is interested in Pretty Princess. You nailing it. Really connecting here with the story. And I think as the story develops, William may have been scared. So they separate. Their house burns to the ground. And Eva collects insurance and jets.
Oh boy, this is never a good sign.
Honestly, like if people are doing insurance fraud, it's just a stepping stone. You know what I mean?
It's a launching pad to other like more serious crimes.
Yes, if you're a female doing insurance fraud, like these insurance underwriters need to like get on this quick,
right?
Because
and if you know people,
escalates
keep an eye
quickly.
out or run or both.
Lord. So eventually, Eva lands in upstate New York. And in 1921, she opens up a roadhouse called Little Eva's Place.
Oh, Little Eva's.
And it's successful because Eva does 3 things to make it so. First, she's picked a good location. So she settles in a small town, which is on the rail line. So it has a lot of travelers stopping. It has a lot of people coming and going. It's also a quaint little town. It's at the foot of the Catskills, and it's called Oneonta, I believe is how you pronounce it, which means the city of hills. So it's a pretty nice, cute little town that people like to stop in. It's about 80 miles southwest of Albany.
Okay.
And it's common for truck drivers, construction workers, a lot of college students to be in and out of this town. Number 2, it's during Prohibition. So Eva's serving alcohol. Supply and demand. She's doing what she used to do. Number 3, Little Eva's Place is also a brothel.
Okay, a little extra on the menu there.
Lecture?
Extra.
Oh, extra. Yeah. Extra, for sure. One source said that she had, because they're in a small town, said that Eva had the number of several housewives in town who she could call to make a little extra money if needed. I don't know if that's true.
Wow.
Seems like a rough side gig. I don't know if...
Wow.
I don't know how would Chris feel about that side gig. So Little Eva is running a successful business. She has several employees who depend on her. She's well-liked. She's witty. She's funny. She is up for a good time.
Eyebrow raise.
Police and politicians also like Eva. So they kind of leave her alone. They let her do her thing, either because she's blackmailing them or because they're happy to use her services.
Gross.
I meant the alcohol, you weirdo.
Oh. I don't think that's why.
Yeah, well, probably not. Maybe it's a combo. Actually, it's probably the location, you sicko.
Location.
So weird. Anyway, one employee in particular, his name is Harry Wright. He not only worked for Eva, but everybody talks about how he came to live with Eva so she could take care of him. And I can't fully unpack this and understand what that means. Now, Harry was the only child to the Wrights, and after his mother passed away, he went to live with Eva because several sources alluded to the fact that he had a physical handicap, and he had a nickname that is inappropriate and wouldn't fly today. But from some of the accounts, I think that he probably had a limp. But that's my best guess based on because they commented on how he walked, and his nickname would allude to that. Anyway, so I don't know how much help he actually needed. I don't know if he had any mental challenges or if it was just the physical challenges.
Just the physical.
But he worked for Eva as a handyman, and he also worked at painting. He would paint around town, like he painted the church. It's very
manual labor. Like I wonder if he just used a cane to get around. Like that's not a weird thing at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
People are just
But after his mother died, he moved in with Eva, and she got part of his mother's inheritance to take care of him. I'm doing air quotes. What I think is probably more detrimental than his physical handicap is the fact that he was a pretty serious alcoholic. So much so that it was not uncommon for Harry to go for a walk after a night of drinking at the roadhouse and then just be found on the side of the road later.
Oh my God.
Yeah, asleep or passed out.
That's dangerous.
Yeah, people in the town, oh, there's Harry. Let's walk him back to Eva's.
Yeah.
So also, I bring up the question, like, how well is she taking care of him if he really does need help and she's just letting him fall asleep on the side of the road?
Feed him alcohol.
Maybe
she's an enabler.
You need to stop giving him liquor. Still, right, like I said, he's working for Eva. He's helping her fix things. He's painting for her. He moved in with her in 1931, okay?
Okay.
In 1933, a lot of things start to change for little Eva's place. A new employee, Martha Clift, who's a 28-year-old mother of 2 young children, a 6-year-old girl and a 3-year-old boy, starts working for Eva, and they become super close. So much so that the other employees are starting to get a little miffed.
Really?
Yeah, they're really close. I think she's favoring Martha.
Is Martha a sex worker?
It says she's a hostess, but it says the other women are entertainers. So I don't know that anybody's being labeled sex worker, and it's real clear for me to decide.
I'm winking with both eyes.
Could you guys not hear that? Could you guys not hear those winks through the microphone?
I'll narrate it.
Anyway, so Martha and Eva are best buds, and the rest of the employees are not loving it. Prohibition also ends, and in 1934, the railroad closes down the stop in that town.
I mean, the country's struggling.
Everything for little Eva dries up. So on June 14th, 1934, Harry Wright is at little Eva's place, and he goes missing. Eva calls the police, reports that she can't find Harry, and asks them to look for him.
Right, look on the roads.
They quickly find Harry on the side of the road, and he's dead. Immediately, they piece it together, and he does this often. This is obviously a hit and run. He passed out or fell asleep on the side of the road. A car didn't see him while he was walking in the dark, and they sped away.
Oh, God. But was he walking or was he laying down? Oh, I don't want to know.
He was about half a mile from little Eva's place where they found him. And investigators still look into it because it's a hit and run still.
Yeah.
To start with, they have questions. One, there is no evidence of a car accident at the crime scene. No tire tracks, no broken glass, no paint chips, really. They would expect to have seen somebody trying to brake or somebody speeding off. Yeah. There's no evidence that somebody hit him at that spot. And they can't piece it together. So they perform an autopsy. And this leads to more questions. His time of death is listed as around 8:30 p.m. The coroner says, yes, Harry had been hit by a car, but not in the way that he would have expected. It looks like Harry was hit twice by a car, which is confusing to him because if it was a true hit and run.
Why would they hit him again?
Why would you hit him a second time? Additionally, the coroner notes that Harry seems to have head trauma that he cannot attribute to the hit and run. He doesn't understand how it got there, where it came from.
How can he not attribute it to that?
And lastly, Harry's blood alcohol was incredibly low.
Huh.
So for somebody who is a known alcoholic, and he probably can hang with a pretty high blood alcohol content. So the story doesn't make sense anymore. He's if it was a low blood alcohol content, then he
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be so drunk that he wouldn't be able to walk on the side of the road. Now, Eva was the last person to see Harry, and she tells the police this, but they know his time of death is 8:30, so something's not adding up. There's a couple hours that are unaccounted for. And to top it off, a couple days after the discovery of Harry's body, the life insurance company contacts the police, and they say, hey, guess who showed up to collect on Harry's life insurance policy? Eva had named herself the beneficiary, taken out a life insurance policy for Harry, and had been paying the premiums for him. So police are continuing to investigate. You know, with any investigation, there's lots of leads that they're chasing down. They learn that Harry had already bought a burial plot, which is common. A lot of people do that. And his family it was a family plot, part of, his family had bought it for him. And there was a headstone in a graveyard with his date of birth on it and his name. Not long before his death, Harry and Eva went to the engraver and asked them to change the birth date on the headstone.
What?
They changed it to make it seem that he was 5 years younger. And Harry said that they had recently discovered a family Bible that listed his true birthday and he wanted it to be corrected.
Okay.
And Eva went with him to help. The engraver changed the birth date on the stone, and this makes Harry under 50 years old, which significantly lowers the premiums that Eva was paying. Just coincidentally.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Gosh.
The next thing the investigators do is they try to find the car that hit him, because regardless of the head injury, he was still hit by a car.
Mm-hmm.
So the police go around to all the garages in the area. One garage says, yeah, a woman actually came in and rented a car from us, a large car. She picked it up, paid really quickly, and left. And police think, here we go. We've got it. So they say, was her name Eva? Was she 5'7", 170 pounds, bleach blonde hair? And they say, no, it was a woman named Martha Clift. And we know Martha is Eva's star employee.
Yep.
So it's not uncommon that you would have your employee go do an errand for you. You know, go pick up this car for me and bring it back.
Okay, but like, please can you go hit this guy and then make sure to reverse and then hit him again and then drive away, please?
But maybe she just picked up the car. Police continue to speak to witnesses. Eva said she was at the roadhouse all night, but nobody seemed to have seen her for all of the hours. There seemed to be some time unaccounted for.
That's weird. Wonder what she was up to. Maybe just having a bath or something.
Yeah. A witness says he spoke to Harry about his plans for the night of his death, and he knows that it was the night of his death because there was a big fight happening that night. So everybody was talking about it. And so it gave this man an anchor to that specific date. And Harry said that he and Eva had plans to drive up to an abandoned house on Crumhorn Mountain, and they were going to steal some plants.
What?
I know. This sounds... Who steals plants?
What are we doing here?
Planting an English garden, I guess. So police are like, okay, let's check that out. Police speak to the owner of the house. Now, the house is abandoned. Nobody lives in it. There are owners of the property. So they contact the owners, and as luck would have it, the owners were worried about vandalism, and they'd heard reports of people breaking into the abandoned house, that they'd actually gone to the property that night, the night of Harry's death. And there was a car there. And so police think, all right, we've got it. They think, okay, who was there? Was it Harry? And was it Eva? And the owners say, no, Harry wasn't there. It was Eva and it was Martha.
Oh.
And they write down the license plate of the car. So now the police are super confused because the owners went there around the time of Harry's death. So where the heck was Harry? And if Eva and Martha can be attributed to being elsewhere, then how could they have killed Harry? They search Eva's house. They find several life insurance policies taken out on people close to Eva, not just Harry. And sources say as many from 7 to 14 life insurance policies on Harry himself.
That's a lot. Don't someone has to sign these, the person who's dying. Okay.
All of them are double indemnity, which means you get paid more if the death is an accident, which you'll remember from the Ruth Snyder case. So they find all these life insurance policies, but more worrisome than any of these pieces of paper is the fact that they also found a blood-stained wooden mallet.
Hey, that's part of the title.
Yeah, there you go. Mallet, M-A-L-L-E-T. Wrapped in...
Mallet.
Yeah, such it. Wrapped in Harry's hat. I mean, come on.
What? Come on.
Eva says nothing. Martha says nothing. Both women are interrogated by the police. Martha breaks.
It's always... Do you know who I'm thinking of? What was her name? Goldine?
Goldine, yes. Martha's a Goldine.
Yes, she is. So this is from the Trick or Treat murder. Goldine was the friend who did the dirty deed because she loved her friend.
Yeah, I mean, murdering as a duo never goes well.
No. Somebody breaks. Who would break between us two?
Probably me.
Really? I think we both hold out really long. Maybe we would be the successful duo, but I wouldn't like to murder anybody.
Yeah, I don't want to have to get there to find out.
But I think it'd be successful.
I mean, I'm very loyal, but I would be very nervous.
Yeah, but you are nervous, but you're pretty on the outside, like steely and calm when you're nervous. Anyways,
that's true.
We could pat ourselves on the back for that.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope we never have to find that out, yeah?
Yes, yeah, agreed.
Anyway, Martha agrees to a deal. She is going to get immunity if she explains what really happened the night that Harry died.
Oh boy.
So Martha says that Eva had created a scheme to collect on Harry's life insurance. Duh. I think we're all there. And that the two women would take Harry up to Crumhorn Mountain. And Eva waited until Harry got out of the car to look at the plant that she wanted, and then she ran him over. Martha says at that time, the owners surprised them and showed up. So Eva backed up over Harry's body to hide it.
Oh.
The police take this confession to Eva, and Eva loses her mind.
Yeah, pissed.
And says she's lying. That's not what happened. And she has her own version of events. Eva's lawyers would later try to get Eva's statement thrown out. And I can't believe this is true, but it was in newspapers. Apparently, to get the confession from Eva, the sheriff exhumed Harry's body, brought it to the scene of the crime on Crumhorn Mountain.
No, gross.
And used the body to recreate the scene, forcing Eva to watch.
Oh my God.
They said that this happened at night and without her lawyer present, and she was forced to move the body and shake the body's hand.
What?
I know, I just kept rereading this. It was listed in a few sources. Martha may or may not have been there as well. Some say that it was both women, and some seem to allude that it was just Eva.
That's disgusting.
I've never heard of...
No.
Anyway, so the lawyer...
That's gross. And I feel like that's like a mistrial. Well, that's not really the right word, but like that's like police abuse.
Yeah. So that's what her lawyer is saying. And I feel that Eva is guilty, but I have to say I kind of agree with her lawyer on this point. That does not seem appropriate or an okay way to get information. Anyway.
Gosh.
What the investigators are able to piece together between the two women is that they were going to the old house to steal plants. That everyone agrees on. She got out of the car with him, pointed at the plant she wanted, but she got out of the car with him, and it was Martha who actually drove the vehicle. So there's more to that story when Martha will end up testifying. But because Martha lied, her immunity deal gets pulled. And so she has to now do a plea bargain.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. So it's worth noting that another one of Eva's employees before Harry, named Jesse Loke, had also died while working for Eva. The two had gotten into an argument.
What?
And then he was found dead, and the police officers ruled it death by suicide.
Uh-oh.
There was no mention of a life insurance policy, but I thought it was an interesting fact. Oh, side note, I need to tell you, I'm reading a lot of this in the newspapers, right? And I'm reading this article about, the terrible things. And then underneath it, they have these sections in all these old newspapers that they just call local news. And it, honest to God, just lists what everybody does. So here is a direct quote from the Franklin Evening Star. James Collins spent Thursday afternoon in Indianapolis on business. Ms. Evelyn Burns returned Monday after spending the weekend in Louisville.
Why are they publishing all of this?
It just lists all of these things. It's like, it would be like, Alana went to Megan's for lunch.
So weird.
That's all it says. It is so weird. But I thought about how weird it was and I was getting judgy, but then I thought it's essentially Facebook.
The newspaper.
We've been doing this since the dawn of time.
That's really funny.
It's exactly like reading a bunch of published Facebook statuses. It is so weird.
Silly. Wow.
It was very weird. Anyway, the trial starts in Cooperstown, New York, August 1934. It lasts for 3 weeks. People are going to the roadhouse now. They're going to Crumhorn Mountain. People are selling miniature mallets.
What? Gross.
I mean, that always happens.
What's wrong with it? Why?
I don't know.
I need to understand that. Ugh.
They bring in a whole slew of witnesses. So they bring in Eva's boyfriend. His name is also Harry, but Harry Nabinger. He lives with Eva.
This whole time?
Yeah. And I swear to God, the paper said he lived with her as a man and a woman. I swear to God, that's what it said. So
that phrase kills me.
I know. He lives with Eva as a man and a woman, but he's married and has 5 children.
And it is
not
her
to
boyfriend.
Eva. Yeah. Wow. He lives with Eva, but I think he and his wife are separated. I mean, I would hope for her sake. He testifies that Eva obtained the life insurance policies for Harry, and he also says that he helped write a lot of and do a lot of the paperwork and alluded to the fact that he maybe was signing some of these things. He was also getting immunity for his testimony. And he says that Eva, Martha, himself, and another employee named Gladys had gone up to the mountain before the murder and to look around. And he and Eva had explored the property. They'd actually broken into the house and she had found the mallet or brought it with her. It's unclear. And she started like swinging it, like walking around the property with it.
Oh boy.
The prosecution called this the dress rehearsal.
Huh.
So that employee, Gladys,
Wow.
who was an entertainer at the roadhouse, remembers that outing, and she said that she saw Eva carrying that mallet around, and Eva commented how easy it'd be to hit someone with it. Then Mrs. Fink, the owner of the property, Mrs. Fink and her daughter testify about seeing the car, seeing Eva, seeing Martha. They were worried that they were stealing. They actually walked up to the car and looked inside it. And the whole time Harry was underneath.
No.
So then Martha testifies, which Eva must have been so...
Yeah.
Eva has these icy blue eyes. They compare her to Ruth Snyder a lot, if you haven't listened to one of our previous episodes. She has these steely blue eyes, and she just fixed her gaze on Martha. Martha says, now, her immunity deal is gone because she lied, because she was the one driving the vehicle, and she admitted to it. So now she is doing a plea bargain for second-degree murder with a 20-year sentence if she flips on Eva. Wow. So Martha says that Eva plotted several different ways to kill Harry for a long time. Her first thought was to put him in a car and let it run down a bank and get in a car accident. I assume she'd put him in the car inebriated. Then she said she would pretend she had a flat, let the car run over him. Then she said she'd lock him in a garage with a running car and let him die from carbon monoxide poisoning. Then she said she'd drive him off a cliff. And then she said she'd hit him with a car and give the car to Martha. So she's super fixated on the car. Like, that is the only
that's the way.
option.
I feel like that wasn't the best choice.
It's a weird choice.
The bank one is the best choice.
Again, not murdering Harry for his life insurance policy is the best choice.
Clearly, but if we're already doing it, like if he's known to be a drunk, he like causes an accident. But I guess actually there is a way where maybe he doesn't die from that, you know?
Yeah, and also he doesn't seem to really, maybe he drives. I don't know. He's always walking everywhere.
It's true.
So they all get in the car to go up to this Crumhorn Mountain and to steal the plants. Harry gets out to examine the plants. Martha says that Eva lured him in the path of the car, and Martha was to drive to the end of the driveway. Eva took the mallet, which is the head trauma that the coroner couldn't place, hit him over the head with it, and pushed him in front of the car as Martha was going down the driveway.
Why did Martha agree to this?
Well, it is unclear, and I read part of the testimony. It is unclear if Martha almost made it sound like Eva told her, just drive to the end of the driveway. And then as Martha was doing that, she hit Harry and pushed him in front of her. But the lawyers say, well, why didn't you stop? Like, why didn't you just hit the brakes?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it was confusing. And she said she was nervous. So
if you're nervous, you either slam on the brakes or the gas by accident.
I'm unclear if she went up there with the intent of like, this is the plan. I'm doing A, you're doing B, or if she went up there and then Eva told her to do it, or if she was just driving by and Eva threw her in front of him, threw him in front of the car.
I don't think so.
Anyway, so Harry's been hit by the car. So the owners show up, which is unbelievable that they would show up at this point.
That's crazy.
And it's kind of late at night, you know? I mean, he died around 8:30. It's 8:30, 9 o'clock. And Eva starts frantically yelling at Martha to back up the car to hide the body. So Martha backs the car up.
Can you imagine? You'll never forget that feeling when you're in the car going over a body.
No. And honestly, I don't believe Harry was dead from the first impact.
That's terrible.
Right. The owners, they're looking in the car. They leave. Eva and Martha put Harry in the vehicle and they drive away. Martha says she wanted to take Harry to the hospital. And Eva said no. But I I have so many problems with that statement. But anyway, Eva dumps the body about a half a mile from her house, or about a half a mile from the roadhouse. And then she tells Martha, keep quiet, get rid of the quilt that Harry was wrapped in, and then threw $1 at her.
That's gross.
Yeah.
I don't like her at all.
Martha agrees to this version of events. And like I said, she had to plead guilty to second-degree murder, and she was sentenced to 20 years.
Why is it not first degree? I don't understand the difference. Like, is it second degree because she was paid or told to do it?
Yeah, so second degree is you didn't premeditate it.
Got it.
First degree is you did. And so I think what I don't think they really know if Martha, right, they don't understand, but they're willing to let her plead as a lesser charge in order to get Eva, because they believe Eva to be the mastermind and to be the more dangerous of the two.
Okay.
So the all-male jury deliberate for about an hour, and they come back guilty, first-degree murder, sentenced to death by electric chair at Sing Sing.
Ugh.
Eva is shockingly composed, and as she's being walked out, Harry Nabinger, her boyfriend, is actually being held in jail as a material witness until the trial is over, and she slips him an autographed picture of herself and tells him goodbye.
Weird.
I thought so. She spends the time awaiting death with very few visitors, and Eva Coo would be the 10th woman executed in the state of New York. Another side note, the same paper that talked about everybody's weekend plans also talked about how Eva would be the 10th woman to be executed. And they mentioned the first woman to be executed by the state of New York was a woman named Margaret Hodling, and she was found guilty of killing a child in 1817. The next sentence after that casually drops that. And then the following year, a neighbor admitted to the crime. Yeah. And I looked up this woman. There's nothing about her being innocent. I couldn't find a single article about it. All of the articles about her murdering this child, and they are so awful. I can't believe the words they were using.
We should do an investigation.
And then I did find some things that the deathbed confession, they're not sure if it's true. I don't know. Anyway, it just they just dropped that bomb.
And nobody cared.
Nobody printed. There were no articles that I could find about the deathbed confession. She was never
exonerated. Mm-hmm. Is that the right word? Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Anyway, on June 27th of 1935, Eva Coo's death sentence was carried out, and the warden made a point of saying, he said, I don't know if she's guilty or if she's innocent, but she did not get a fair deal. Her defense attorney called me for 4 tickets to her execution. And I have to kind of agree with him, because it would seem that Harry Nabinger, Martha, and Eva were all in this together, and Martha's the one who drove the dang car.
Right.
So I feel that they are all guilty.
For sure.
I feel that Eva should get life in prison, but I don't know that she should get a death sentence.
Oof.
It's just amazing to me that certain people, Eva was put to death within a year of the crime. And then there are other people like Jolly Jane who got to live out their days in a institution.
Is
She
it-
killed so many
what-
people.
What state was she in? Connecticut?
Who?
Jolly.
Massachusetts.
It might just be the death penalty laws are different per state. And
Well, she still didn't even
Jeez.
get life in prison, though.
it's wild.
I mean, I know they said it's because she's mentally ill, but I mean, there's just so many cases like that. I mean, this is terrible and it's awful, but it's just so crazy to me that Martha was able to. But Martha's, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
So Eva walked to the chair composed,
The Green Mile.
like she had been doing during her trial. Everybody compared her to Ruth Snyder, the Granite Woman.
Yep.
Her and Ruth Ruth died before Eva, but they were in the same cell.
Whoa.
And they carried out the same fate.
That's wild.
Eva sat down, looked at the prison matrons, and said, "Goodbye, darlings." And those were her last words.
Jeez.
Martha was paroled after 13 years at Bedford Hills Prison and lived out the rest of her life quietly.
It's nice for her.
I guess. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It seems like a raw deal. They both did the same thing, and she got 13 years.
It's because
And
she was
Eva
second degree.
was sentenced to death. I mean, Eva is not, I am not sticking up for Eva. She is, some of the women, I see a lot of gray. I have a real hard time with the gray in this area. I think she was using a lot of people in her life and taking advantage of them, and dangerously so. But to carry a death sentence it's heavy.
Wow.
So, and I tried to look up more about Harry himself, but there really wasn't anything on him. I looked at all the papers before his death to see if they had any of those social, like if he got married or if they had any of like the social clippings about him. The only thing I could find that I think was probably him is that Harry Wright has almost completed painting the church, and it will be done soon. And I imagine that was him.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know anything else about him other than that he worked as a handyman and did the painting. He lived with his mother. He was very close to his mother, but clearly he was taken advantage of.
Yeah, no kidding. It's wild that someone's allowed to take so many life insurance policies on different people, many different policies. Like, that's extreme.
Yeah, I was wondering that. So I'm guessing, like, somebody can't just take a life insurance policy out on me, right? Unless I consent to it.
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to sign it. You're not going to get some money because I die. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think either Harry Wright trusted Eva and probably did sign some of them thinking that's a good idea. Or
his mom.
Her boyfriend, his mom had died.
Yeah.
She did all this after his mom died. And I don't know if he had any mental challenges. And then the other thing is, it's possible that her boyfriend, Harry, just signed all these for him and he didn't even know. That's possible too.
Oof.
In all of these life insurance policies, not that it should matter, but they're just never an amount that I think even is ballpark. Like there was like
enough?
It was $10,000 for all of them together.
I'm trying to think what that would be back in the 1930s.
I mean, there's really no amount that would make me feel comfortable with that, obviously, because it's human life. But I always expect these life insurance policies to be like millions of dollars, and they just never are.
No.
She had more than one, and she said she had the life insurance policy to pay for his funeral, like a small life insurance policy to pay for his funeral, and then she cheaped out on the casket.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, just real solid.
Ugh, she's yuck.
Yeah. So you see, William Coo was probably like, goodbye. He remarried and had a normal life.
Okay.
Thank God he got away. But as soon as women start burning the house down,
it's not good.
It's like the gateway drug.
Mm-hmm.
It's the marijuana of murder.
Oh boy.
What I find more interesting in this piece is the people who are like the Martha Cliffs of the world.
Yeah.
Like,
come on. What are you doing? Why?
Come on. Like, clearly, when she went up, if she truly knew she testified to all of the murder plans that all involved the car. that Eva had been talking about with her for weeks. So what did she think was going to happen when Eva said, go get this car, rent it, and then drive up here with me and Harry? She had to have known that that's what was going to happen. At any point, she could have said, Harry, save yourself. Right. She could have called the police. She could have gone up there and tricked Eva. She could have gone up there and then taken off. Right? She could have hit Eva, for God's sakes.
She must have been in like a place where she feels like she has to stay here. Like she needs to be with Eva to like live a good life. And like, this is what I have to do to survive and have this good life. I don't know. Like usually people are like pushed against a wall or they're in love with somebody.
I don't think they were in love. I think Martha was married. She was heavily influenced by Eva. Obviously, I believe Eva was probably pretty good at being manipulative. Mm-hmm. Seems to be the case. And so many people testified that Eva mistreated Harry before this terrible moment as well. Like would pick on how he walked, would mention how easy it would be to push him over, would lock him out of the house if it was cold, would lock him in the house if it was hot. Oh. There was a pattern here that was happening and nobody said anything.
People are scared of like powerful, people that can manipulate because things can just get turned on you instead.
I know.
So I feel like it probably is a combination of fear and like, I have it good. I want to stay in the good. And this is what I got to do. But I don't recommend it.
I can't wrap my head around that. As much as I can have empathy for a lot of different scenarios, I can't wrap my head around me ever being in this scenario and thinking, I'm just going to go through with this and it'll be okay.
Like she's absolutely did something horrible and she made a terrible decision. And I didn't she deserves to be punished for that. But I mean, that's what I imagine she would have to be thinking and feeling in order to do that. I mean,
I guess.
I don't know how she treated other people in life, Martha. So I don't know if she's just a mean person or she's like, this is what I got to do.
Yeah, I guess there really isn't a lot to determine this. My instinct says she's probably somebody who just easily manipulated and kind of like you said, a Goldine. That would be my guess.
Yeah, weak-willed, weak-spined.
That's why she became so close with Eva because Eva noticed that.
Right.
And took her under her wing.
Right, Eva protects her, but then she also probably manipulates and abuses her in different ways.
Yeah. Yikes. So what are your last words for us?
I have two. Well,
right. Two statements. I get you.
One, don't commit insurance fraud because we all know the next step.
There's no other way.
There's no other way. You can't turn back. Two, be careful who you become friends with. And if they're manipulative, that can turn on you. So if you notice people being really mean to others, but they like treat you nicely, just know that can always be turned on you and it's dangerous.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's important to watch how people treat others.
Yes.
Because that is how they will treat you at some point.
Yeah. And this is more in the workplace, but like you can really understand someone's character and how they treat their subordinates, not how they treat their peers or their higher ups.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram at
Tea Time Crimes.
You can you can email us at
teatimecrimes@gmail.com.
And who should listen today?
Let's see. Who should listen today? Let's say people going to rehab, sober people. Good luck on your journey. That's awesome. I'm proud of you.
Surprise me.
Let's say handymen. Well, maybe not because this might scare you. Handymen and women. No, don't do it because I mean it's not going to happen to you. But just I don't want you to be scared. Let's see.
Take this as a cautionary tale.
Maybe like a bed and breakfast in the Catskills.
As an example of what not to do.
Yeah, like deviate from this path. And mechanics. That's the list.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
That should get us about 10 listeners. And rate, like, review, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast.
Leave us a rating and a review that says, "Oh, they're so good. I really like to listen." Good night.
Do you think that accent will come through in the text?
Oh, no, I don't. But maybe I'll read the reviews in different accents at one point.
Oh my gosh,
that would be
that's an
fun,
excellent
actually.
idea. Yes, you should
snippet.
read. You should read more things. Absolutely. All right, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. Bye.
Bye.